We work so you can play. Let's make a gaming board.
Mini Wargamer Dave here from MiniWargaming.com. Today, Wargamers, we're going to do something special. We're going to go out and get the materials needed for a gaming board. And we're going to show you step by step how to do this. Come along with us. We're going to get into the truck and go to the lumber store. So follow me. Just backing out of the driveway here at the Mini Wargaming Club. There's a one-way road in behind the building. Okay, in the city of Welland. That's right, that's where the club is. This is the old city hall. If you look across the street there, that used to be a massive steel factory, but I think it's pretty cool. To me, that's just like orbital bombardment aftermath. That's what that looks like to me. And it's right across the street from the club. Okay, almost, yeah, good on that side. Okay, now we're going. Now we're out. All right, so this is a pretty easy endeavor, and it's fun. This is a fun Saturday afternoon activity, or whatever afternoon activity, if you just happen to have an afternoon that's free. That's about how long it'll take to make the gaming board. That, my friends, is an excellent advertisement. That's awesome. Now, that just gave me an idea. We should have like a Space Marine in front of the Mini Wargaming Club, and he'll be holding a sign, kind of like that. And it's not pizza. It's come and play Warhammer and other miniature games and other games. I think it would work. I think that's an excellent idea. What do you think? In fact, if you have any ideas like that, or if you think that's a good idea, just post a comment in the comments below. Post a comment and tell me what you think. Okay, we're here. Here it is. This is our local lumber store. Let's go have a look-see. We gotta think about screws now. What size screws are the best? We have found that 1.5 inch long are the best. These are drywall screws and they work perfectly. So that's what we're gonna get. Here's a box of 100. For this project, that'll be way more than enough. So let's go ahead with that. Now to get our wood cut. Okay, so we're inside the warehouse right now and we're getting the plywood together and the braces together. So this plywood right here is 3/8 thick and it's a 4 foot by 8 foot section. We're gonna cut it to 6 feet. Okay, so all the wood is cut. We're going back to the club right now. We're going to assemble this gaming table. And once we get to the club, I'll go over the exact measurements of everything that you need. Pretty busy here. All right, so we're in the gaming club and we're going to assemble this gaming table. And Sandra's gonna give me a hand with that. And so let's start by putting this piece of plywood on the table here. This plywood is 3/8 of an inch thick. That's the thickness of it. We have found that it has worked best, and it's better than 1/2 inch thick plywood. And actually, we got a special piece of plywood. Let's flip this around. This is the good side. We got one side that was nice and smooth and no knots or anything in it. It's all perfectly smooth. Okay, so to brace this board, because this is very important, it needs to be braced, otherwise it's gonna warp on you over time. We use a 6 foot long 1x3. We put one of these on each end of the plywood. And then we brace this with 4 46.5 inch long 1x3s. Here, got the end of that's nice. Over here. And then 2 more in the middle. Okay, one right here. This is the underside of the board. By bracing it this way, it does not warp over time. It's nice and strong for people who decide to lean on it, which you should never do, by the way. Never lean on it, but people will do it. And just wear and tear of your armies and rolling the dice on top of the gaming board and so forth. Okay, now, in order to put these into the gaming board, we're gonna flip it over and we're gonna create some starter holes with a 1/8 drill bit. And after we have drilled our starter holes, we're gonna reinforce it with 1.5 inch long screws. So let's get started. Now, the reason why we drill starter holes is because if we were to just screw these right through the plywood into the 1x3s, it would split the 1x3s, and we don't want that. So we start by drilling a starter hole and then putting in screws. Start right on the corner here. And just put them every 6 inches or so. So now that the starter holes have been drilled, put in the screws. And then we just start drilling the starter holes on the other side. And for the screws, Now, although this is a 6x4 table, these braces down here, they're not exactly 4 feet long, because as you can see, they go right up and they butt up against this 6-foot brace on both sides, okay? And this just happens to be 3/4 of an inch, and this is 3/4 of an inch. Therefore, this 4-foot piece isn't actually 4 feet. It's 46.5 inches long, which is almost 4 feet. And that's why it fits nice and snugly in there. And so just keep that in mind when you're getting the guys at the lumber store to cut your wood. So I'm just going to continue to drill starter holes and then put the screws in here. And we're just going to do the opposite side. Start with our starter holes. All right, so what we've done is, in order to brace this properly, we need to put two 36.5-inch long braces in the middle, the 1x3s. And in order to measure it from underneath, we've measured 2 feet over to the side. If you come over here and you see the little mark that I put on the 6-footer here, this is 24 inches long here. And we've put the brace underneath already, as you can see. We've just centered it on both sides. And what we're going to do is draw a line across the table and put in our starter holes in that line. Here, I'm going to start that in there. All right, so the brace is already underneath, and we've drawn our line. So now it's just a matter of putting in our starter holes. Okay, now for the second brace. Okay, so what we're doing is we're just lining up the brace with the center of this mark here. And Sandra's doing the same thing on the other side. And we found that it's easiest if we put a starter hole in each of the sides first, then a screw in each of the sides, and then we continue with the starter holes down the middle, and then continue with the screws after that. Otherwise, the brace might move underneath, and it's a little bit harder to continue it that way. All right, so here's the first starter hole. We'll go over to Sandra's side. Now we can continue with the starter holes and put the rest of the screws in. So, that's it. That's the gaming board. We haven't done anything to it. It's just a naked gaming board, and you can put whatever you want on it. So, that's how you make a gaming board. And this is updated from the video that you saw 2 years ago. That was a 4x4 table. And there were mistakes in that video. And there wasn't a cat in this video. So that's why it was a little bit harder.